While many eyes are on Trump's former campaign manager, that trial flying under the radar are these reports now about investigations into a former Obama official and a Democratic lobbyist, among others, and their involvement in the same type of potential crimes that Manafort is facing. To sort it all out tonight, Jonathan Hunt's live in our West Coast newsroom with the story this evening. Jonathan.
Good evening, Bill. In the cases of those Democratic operatives who are now being investigated by federal prosecutors, there are no charges yet, and that is perhaps why there is far more focus right now on President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, whose trial on bank and tax fraud charges is obviously underway. So we'll start there tonight, with the judge in the case telling prosecutors that their focus so far on Paul Manafort's lavish lifestyle, quote, isn't relevant. Judge T.S. Ellis adding that it's not a crime to be wealthy. Prosecutors were also told not to use the word oligarchs to describe the wealthy Ukrainians with whom Manafort did business, because the word implied that Manafort was associating with, quote, despicable people, and therefore he's despicable. That's not the American way, the judge said. President Trump again weighed in on the trial today, tweeting, quote, looking back on history, who was treated worse, Alphonse Capone, legendary mob boss killer and public enemy number one, or Paul Manafort, political operative and Reagan doll darling, now serving solitary confinement, although convicted of nothing? Where is the Russian collusion? Now to those other political operatives with Democrat Party ties. Special counsel Robert Mueller has referred the cases of former lobbyist Tony Podesta and former Obama White House counsel Greg Craig to New York prosecutors. And the Southern District of New York has, Fox News has confirmed, opened investigations into them over potential illegal foreign lobbying. Tony Podesta is the chairman of the Podesta Group and brother of John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's former presidential campaign chairman. Tony Podesta is being investigated for failing to register his work on behalf of foreign agents, in this case the government of the Ukraine. Craig, the former White House counsel, worked for a law firm that also did business on behalf of a Russian-backed former Ukrainian president. As I mentioned, no charges yet in those cases, nor are there any charges in a similar investigation of former Republican Congressman Vin Weber, nor for that matter in the case of President Trump's former personal attorney Michael Cohen, a case obviously getting a lot more attention than the one against the Democrat-linked operatives, perhaps because it's linked to a sitting rather than former president, or perhaps because it involves Playboy models rather than arcane lobbying laws. But the investigations bill showed just how many names of political operatives and lobbyists are coming up in the Mueller investigation, and how a lot of people who did even a little business with or on behalf of foreign governments, organizations, or individuals might have reason to be worried tonight.
Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan Hunt leading our coverage there in California. Thank you, sir.